Hi, my name is Kieron Seamons and this is my inky world. And today we have a fantastic question that will kick us off into some kind of discussion through today. I have lost my mojo. I want to draw, but I just can't get started. What do you do in this situation? Tips? Question mark. Russ. Okay, Russ. We're going to talk a little bit about getting that mojo and the whole thing of the kind of juice of creativity. We're going to have a little bit of a talk about that. And we're going to do some good drawings at the same time. We're going to do a nice big inky drawing while we have a talk. Are you ready? Let's do it. So we're going to get back into this feeling of losing your mojo, kind of losing that kind of feeling, losing that want to do something, losing the passion, losing the love, losing all of that feeling. And I have to say that it is something that is very, very, very common. And to be honest, I think this period of time seems to be everybody's kind of feeling it. I do kind of feel like it was a little bit light, wasn't it? I do kind of feel like everybody is kind of feeling it. Everybody is feeling like, there's something going on in the whole planet, that everybody is kind of in that kind of yak, and it's a very realistic feeling, I kind of feel like you are kind of getting into that feeling of, your bills, things like that coming in, and and they will, normal life, health, things like that will come in and be a whole kind of part of it. And at the moment, like my situation is kind of like worrying about bills, and now my iPad is kind of it's on like a life support machine at the moment, and all these type of little things kind of add stress and pressure to your life. The shop is not doing very well, and the bills are coming in, and my iPad is dying, and all these things build. And I always kind of saw my shop, for example, as something that once that's doing well, everything will be doing well. But it isn't like that. Life isn't like that. And the only way I find is to kind of break away from it is through my art. It really is. It's the only way to kind of to sit down with a sketch pad and either write, it can be a good therapy to kind of write things out, write out some thoughts. And the other one is just to draw, just to scribble, just to kind of just move the pen and find shapes and find things that maybe you have never seen before, never experienced before, never drawn before. And that is always, for me, it's a good way to kind of sit and draw in a different style or something like that, just to kind of break up that mood. And it is a mood, and it's something to be taken quite serious as well. I mean, if you're not in the mood to do your drawing, for example, if you're not in the mood to feel that passion, then it can be very, very, very painful. And also, you know, part of my pressure at the moment is the book. You know, as the book gets closer and closer to the kind of release date, the more you start to put pressure on yourself, you know. Is it good enough? Is it good enough? Are you happy with that? Are you happy with this? Could you have done that better? Could you have done this better? And these things are your own mental kind of pressures being built up. And we do that to ourselves. As artists, we do it to ourselves. As artists, we do kind of get in there and, you know, we do kind of love this kind of self-sabotage type of approach. As artists, we do. You know, we just seem to get to a point when everything is going great, then we start to say, well, is it great? You know? So I fully understand Russ. Was it Russ? Yeah. You know, Russ kind of saying the juice of creativity has run out. What do I do? And, you know, it's kind of like running out of anything. You have to go back and you have to replenish it. You know, if you ran out of milk, you go to the shop and get some. If you ran out of whatever, you would go and get some more, fill it up. You know, when your car runs out of petrol, you go and you fill it up. And that's exactly the same that what you have to do with you. You know, take that time, take that rest, step back from it. Maybe it's that time when you need to go and, you know, go to a gallery, you know, go to an exhibition, go and see what other people have been doing. And that will charge the battery a little bit, you know. And if you can't get to a gallery, I know some people can't get to galleries and whatever, then have a look around online and see what other artists are doing. And not in a way of and you have to be careful with this, not in a way that you're kind of going, oh well, he's better than me, oh she's definitely better than me. You have to step away from that, because that is just very, very, very negative, and the only results from it will be negative. You need to look at it and say, you know, if somebody is drawing in pastels, and say, well, maybe I could try some pastels. You know, that person is drawing in watercolors. Well, I've never really tried watercolors. Maybe I could take a break from what I'm usually doing, and I could do some watercolors just to feel something different. It's a very, very good method, and something that I very often do. As you can probably see with all the pieces of paper around, there's always something that's boiling away. I might see somebody. In fact, there was somebody the other day who was drawing some very, very cute stuff with pastels, and I was like, maybe I should do some pastels. Maybe I could get into, you know. And it's a good thing, because a lot of this time it kind of builds up this excitement. Just build all this excitement up, but it also, once you've had all that bubbly, childish excitement with it, sometimes you come back and you say, you know, I'm happy with drawing in ink. You know, and that's a really beautiful environment to kind of be in, that you're coming back to what you do, and you're happy with it. I'm not sure what I'm drawing at the moment. I'm drawing some kind of crazed man by the looks like, eh? Let's give him an unusually long chin. I have no idea what's... I've literally just replaced my nibs, and I don't quite know what's happening with them, but they're all feeling funny. They're feeling odd under my fingers. And that's also something, you know, it's like You know, I kind of talk a lot about my second brain talking to me, and my first brain wanting this and whatever. And that's all about kind of artists feeling. The nibs are all the same. They all come from the same packet. So they are all the same, but I get sometimes quite kind of emotional about it. And I really shouldn't. I really should see that all the nibs are exactly the same, or as close as being exactly the same. So whatever I feel from that nib is just my emotional feeling, you know. So I'm just trying to draw some kind of man in desperation, just to fit in with this kind of subject of creative juices. This man who's kind of, I mean, I almost kind of feel like he's naked, as you might feel when you're vulnerable. You might feel naked, you might feel lost. Excuse me fiddling around with all these nibs. They're not changing for any technical thing, it's just a mental thing, you know. My second brain saying, don't like that one. Don't like that one. My first brain saying, oh, they're all the same. Stop complaining, will you? You know. Just get a nice kind of reaching out hand here. And again, it's sometimes nice just to, I don't usually draw realistic people, but I kind of feel like from what Russ was talking about, I thought it might have been more in fitting with what the discussion was. This lack of mojo, this lack of creativity, this lack of want. And, you know, don't fight it. If it really is coming to you that way, don't fight it. Just take it in your stride. Do something different. You know, in this case here, I quite enjoy drawing animals and stuff like that, and weird creatures. And today we are drawing some kind of desperate man. And it's relaxing. It's kind of a good way to kind of change things, you know, change the way you're thinking, change the processes of the way you're thinking. And sometimes your thinking will, you know, you have to get to a point where you're believing that if you're feeling not good about something, it's real. It's a real thought. It's a real feeling. And don't get to a point where you're kind of like being negative against your negativity, you know. I mean, it's a real feeling, it's a real mood, and try to understand it. Maybe even have a think about where it came from. Did somebody say something? Is that where it came from? Did somebody say something that made you feel not good? What? And that's okay. It's okay to feel that way. Whether you're an artist or a musician or whatever, it is very okay to feel that sense of loss, sense of doom, the sense of everything going wrong. And I find sometimes it's a good way to push you to take a rest. to feel things differently. Now I'm going to try to get another arm in there. Just trying to get something in there to try and show that kind of feeling of doing something like that. That his uncomfortable mood has put him in a difficult situation. And we all feel it, we all go through it, so don't be too hard on yourself, you know? Maybe it is just a simple thing of taking a rest. The world is okay and the world will still be there when you get back, you know? I often sit down with a notebook, sketchbook, and what I do is I unload everything. If I'm too stressed out to draw, I'll write down some things, some thoughts about how am I feeling, what is going on, you know, even writing about stuff that probably you don't even care about, but it's in your mind, it's in your thoughts, it's in your, you know, and that's really okay to put it down. It's okay to let it out. In fact, the more you let it out, the better you will feel. Don't like you either. See, I'm starting to feel stressed now just by the nibs not doing what I want them to do. And it's a ridiculous kind of reaction because it's just a piece of metal. What am I getting unhappy about? What am I getting stressed about? Oh my God, look at that. And there's the perfect reaction. My nib has just snapped in half. Look at that. It's just broken. And the best reaction to it is to laugh at it, you know. It's not important. I'll dig down and I'll find something that I haven't used today. Lovely. And there is the whole point of this discussion, that because that broke, I found this. If I hadn't have broken that, I wouldn't have found this delicious and gorgeous and amazing nib. And there's nothing special about this nib. This nib came from the same jar as the other nib came from. But it's how I feel about it. It's how my brain is saying, that's the one. That's the chosen nib. That is the one that will make your drawing fantastic. That is the one that you need. So sometimes whether it is your mind playing kind of tricks on you, or whether it is a real fact. By that I mean like with my nibs. Because I now feel this is the chosen nib for today. This is the beautiful one. I already feel better. Do you see? By you doodling in your book, it might just be a silly little drawing that just makes you feel better. And that is a very beautiful feeling. So take the time. Step back from what is driving you crazy. Step back from life. And just sketch. Or paint. Or do something that's just going to relax your creativity. Relax your whole mind. And that's very valuable in this stage. You know, I know that somehow money will happen and I will buy my replacement camera. You know, my new kind of iPad camera device or iPhone or whatever. It will happen. It will, you know, something will just click. So if I'm angry about it or not angry about it or stressed out about it, what does it help? What does it help? It doesn't. It doesn't. I've just drawn a beautiful foot. Feel that. Feel how something so small on a piece of paper that's just ink has made me feel so good. And that's what you need to concentrate your mind onto. Take it away from your bills and your worries and that is basically a lesson on being good to yourself. Be good. If you're not good to yourself, who will be? So please be good to yourself today. For me. Even if you do it for me. Please. Be good to yourself. And already, when I started off, I was trying to draw a distressed man. To fit in with this losing of your mojo. Losing this juice of creativity. Losing it all. And when I look down, I actually look at my drawing now and I see it's a happy man that is dancing. That was not my intention. But again, it's that kind of perception of what has happened. You know, all this time, was I actually drawing a happy person and I didn't know it? I didn't see it. I didn't see what is in front of me. I didn't see the environment. When you're concentrating on that piece of negativity, I don't have a camera. How am I going to do my work? And I'm concentrating on that problem. But everything around me is beautiful. I have a beautiful dog. The sun is shining. And I'm doing a drawing. How beautiful is that? You know? Well, sometimes we need to remind ourselves a little bit. Remind ourselves about how beautiful everything around us is. And sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes it can be very, very difficult. But we're strong, right? So if you are feeling that drain on your creativity juice, if you are feeling that, do something to make yourself feel good. Anything, the smallest thing. And sometimes it is that point of taking all this big drama in your life and bringing it back down to the smallest of achievements. About just write your name. Just write your name. and then look at it and say how beautiful your name is. Like I'm doing right now. I'm writing my name. And I'm enjoying every letter and putting a passion into every letter, so that when I look back at my name, it will make me feel good. And that is something that I want you to do today. I want you to give yourself the smallest of achievements. Doesn't matter how small. Whether it's drawing a penguin, writing your name, or just splashing some ink on some paper or some paint on some paper and finding a beauty in that shape that you have thrown down. Bang, 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 bang. Beautiful. So, if you've lost your creative juice, if you have lost your mojo for life, it will pass. Okay? It will pass. Just give yourself a very small challenge today. Write your name. Do a splash on a paper that you like the look of. Something so small that you know you can do it. Okay? So, Ross, thank you for your question, and I hope today will be a beautiful day for you. I hope that you will get a sketch pad and just scribble some shapes. Just doing the smallest thing to make yourself feel good. And and for you, I have drawn a happy, insane man who is dancing. I didn't plan for it to be a dancing, insane man, but he seems to have come across that way. Even his happiness, I didn't mean to draw his happiness, but he does look happy. So I will take that. And I wish you, and all of everybody who's struggling in any way, whether it's with art or whether it's with life, hang in there. Something beautiful is coming for all of us. Something really, really beautiful. And today, do something nice for yourself. Just something small for you. Okay? And I will see you back here again for some more drawings tomorrow. Okay? Or maybe later if I feel like it. Who knows? But have a beautiful day, and don't worry about your juice of creativity. It will come back in floods. When it's the right time, it will come back in floods. And I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you all back here again very, very, very soon. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I would love to have you on board my little family. See you soon. Bye-bye.